I'm here at the battery show today at the Elaphe display with Luca Ambrozic. Luca is the Chief Commercial Officer for Elaphe, and he's going to tell us what Elaphe learned from being the very first company to get a wheel hub motor in production on the Lordstown pickup truck. Was that a good experience for Elaphe?
It definitely was. I mean, the US market is very specific, so you have a lot of different things that we don't have in Europe.
Yep.
It was a challenging process. I think Lordstown did a really good job at putting together one of the firsts in the industry in a very short time.
Mm-hmm.
But what we've learned is that just a good idea is not important. It's like when you're going through to something like a very new architecture, which it can redefine all the vehicles that are going around and have many additional functionalities. You really have to do a lot to design the vehicle in accordance to the benefits that it brings. So I think you have to go a little bit further on. Of course, what we learned was working with startups is challenging and risky, but it's also rewarding. We learned a lot from this experience. Of course, Lordstown may or may not continue, you know this.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we also learned that we have to work harder on our end to try to make it easier for everyone to take the benefits of a new architecture, which is a distributed drive architecture, to harness all the benefits and then build way better cars than what they can build today on an existing architecture.
So, wheel hub motors are not in production now. What does the future hold for Elaphe? Will you be back in production on a vehicle sometime soon?
As a result of the economic situation with startups, you know, there's it's a very tumultuous period for them. So we are focusing our efforts more on growing on the relationships we've built with more traditional OEMs, especially in Europe. So we do expect vehicles in production, but more, let's say, the end of the development cycle, which should be end of the decade, 2029, 2030. Until then, very exciting projects that we cannot talk about.
Should we always think of wheel hub motors as being for pickup trucks? Could they ever go on a sports car?
Well, let me put it this way. A lot of the same benefits about traction and other things can be harnessed. They will definitely be the most beneficial in a four-wheel drive configuration. And from that point perspective, we can put a lot of power and a lot of torque inside the wheels. So both applications are, of course, possible, and both will benefit from this.
For more on Elaphe, go over to autonews.com and check out the story.